So, da sind wir wieder. Ich bin völlig geschafft nach dem FIFA-Spiel. Nachdem ich glorreich im ersten Spiel den Kashi 1-0 besiegt habe und dann noch ein 1-1, ein unverdientes 1-1, aber für den Kashi. Wir werden wieder einen englischen Talk haben, weil wir haben mit dem Nick aus Australien einen australischen Gast heute hier. Jeez, we're going through all the continents today, I tell you that.
International.
Es wird also ein Talk über Lenovo sein und die neuen Produkte, die hier vorgestellt wurden. Und ich habe nicht nur hier auf meiner linken Seite den Nick Reynolds von Lenovo, auf meiner rechten Seite haben wir auch den Thilo Huys. Aber wie gesagt, wir sprechen auf Englisch diesmal und unterhalten uns darüber so ein bisschen. You know, what a coincidence! I'm even using a Lenovo idea
It's
for
awesome.
11S.
I was impressed with that,
It's not staged or scripted, trust me.
More and more Mac users are moving to the yoga.
You know, I never used a Mac since the late 90s. Yeah, I gave up on Macs.
You gave up?
Yeah, totally. Nick, what are you doing at Lenovo?
I run the worldwide marketing launch team, and I actually run the notebook development team for consumer products like yoga.
Okay, fantastic.
2 jobs.
There you go. And Thilo, you're doing the marketing over here in Germany?
No, actually, no blunt marketing. I'm doing communications. Communications, which is a mixture of external, internal communications. PR, some people call it PR, public relations. So now I'm doing this for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
Okay, there you go. So, Nick, you've been launching a bunch of new products over here. Like it was a massive product line yesterday was your press conference, right?
Yesterday.
So, lots of new Ultrabooks, new 2-in-1s, convertibles, tablets, smartphones. Where shall we start?
Why don't we start with multi-mode?
Multi-mode sounds absolutely fantastic because that's basically what we're using here, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you know, our research with customers actually was saying, you know, work and life is blurring. You know, where you work, where you socialize, where you use computer devices. And also, you know, the screen sizes and tablets, phones, phablets, you know, PCs, it's all blurring. So we actually want to lead the industry.
Yeah.
And we've said, look, PCs, if you look at desktop and notebook, I mean, it's shrinking. The volume, the market is shrinking. But what's growing is these multi-mode, the convertibles, right? And the Yoga actually took 45% market share in convertible worldwide.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
a biggie.
It is, and that was with the first Yoga.
Yeah.
And Yoga 11S, I think the one you're using, the 11-inch.
Yeah.
But we announced this one yesterday. This is the big announcement, the Yoga 2 Pro, and the Yoga 2 Pro. It has a couple of outstanding things about it. You can see here, actually on the screen. You know, I can drag in from the side and put in multiple windows here because it's a brilliant display. The display,
let me just try to get this
which
on
you can't
camera.
see there at all.
Okay, here we go.
But it's a QHD plus display.
That means 2560 by 1600.
No, it's
3200.
3200 by 1800.
Jeez, that's
So
amazing.
it's an unbelievable resolution display. And we built we actually made the Yoga, it builds on the original Yoga with the hinges, the fold 360 degrees, tested 25,000 times to fail, right? And, but, so you still get the 4 modes, like laptop, tent mode, you get stand mode and tablet mode. We made it 10% lighter and thinner. It's only 15 millimeters now in terms of thin.
Yeah.
It's 1.39 kilos, so it's really light.
Yeah.
But what we didn't do is just talk about and build hardware that's great and improved. With the Yoga 2 Pro, we decided to actually build in software that takes advantages of each mode. So, let me get rid of these screens here. You can see we built something called Yoga Pix.
Okay.
Yoga Pix is software that actually is motion controlled or voice controlled. I'm in stand mode, but if I flip it over into tent mode, what happens there is that it's automatically sensed that I'm in tent mode now.
Yeah.
And what Yoga Pix is, it's like a concierge. It says, here's all the apps that you should try out and use in tent mode because they are optimized for this mode.
Interesting.
And if I flip it into traditional sort of laptop mode, You can see there, you know, it flips across and gives me different apps. So I think, yeah, let's get that on the screen. So,
there you go.
So, you know, we've introduced things like motion control to apps where, you know, 10% of people are using their yoga in the kitchen. So
that's interesting. Isn't
third
it?
parties are building apps to take advantage of these modes. And one of these apps, let's just go back to, you know, back here, is one of them is called Yoga Chef. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but it's like giving me, you know, recipes and stuff, and just swiping with my hand left and right. I'm not touching the screen here. I'm just swiping my hand in front. You know, I can be further away, quite a fair way away, but you know, it's motion controlled. This works with movies. It works with PowerPoint slides, you know, photos, all sorts of stuff. So, you know, this is breathing life into what some people have said the PC industry's dead.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not dead. I mean, we're winning with devices like this. So I think that's why, you know, we're now #1 in the world in PCs, which is great.
That's what you became in just the last 12 months, right?
Yeah.
You took over the #1 position. That's quite impressive, and I think it's just a kind of statement from the market to you guys that you've been doing something right with it, right? And especially, I remember I think it was at CES 2012 when you've announced the first yoga at that time. It's 1.5 years ago right now, right?
1.5 years. And it came into the market end of last year, and then it was a huge success over the winter time.
Yeah.
The beginning of the year was, funny enough, it was #1 position for a couple of days at Amazon. It was unbelievable because it was the price point.
Yeah.
It's not a sexy $399 price point.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 euros. And
this is a premium product,
it's
so
a premium
right?
product, and we see here that we have the opportunity of introducing new products which the people find sexy and see a need for it.
Absolutely.
Because the computer as we know it, the PC as we know it, is dead, of course.
Yeah.
You have a desktop here. It's a gaming machine.
Right.
You have a desktop which is a workstation for designers. You have a desktop which is a kitchen management server function for middle-class restaurants. So, but we're talking here of devices, and we're talking here of multiple usages, and people, they demand, and they're very demanding. And you cannot sell them the same computer every quarter, or the new one, or faster, or bigger, 14-inch, 15-inch, 13, 14, 15, 13. No, you have to come up with new things, and we've proven this.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday when we announced, you know, this was one product, we announced 6. The other 3 multi-mode products, one of them is called Flex. It's a 14 and 15-inch, you know, looks like a traditional clamshell notebook.
Yeah.
But actually, it converts into this mode, into stand mode, like it can, you know, like this, where, you know, because we found that people, they will buy a mainstream machine, €499, including VAT, and they don't just want to use it in laptop mode, right? You know, now they get it with stand mode. So, and the hinges on that device are tested 25,000 times. So we're bringing multi-mode to mainstream price points, and that was the Flex 14-15. The Flex 20 is like the Horizon, you know, the table PC that fold, you know, all in one, but it folds down flat, and you can use physical devices on the screen to play games and interact. So the Flex 20 was the other one, and obviously ThinkPad Yoga. So for people who want in business a true ThinkPad, but they want this yoga form factor. So those were the big PC announcements that we made yesterday, those big 4.
Well, we have a couple of questions in the chat. Richard is just asking, when you're flipping into the tablet mode, what happens to the keyboard? Can't you just press a key and, you know what, is it going to interfere with your kind of touchscreen use? Well, just to let you know, Richard, it's kind of switching off the keyboard right at this moment, right? So you can just put it anywhere, and it works without any problems at all. You know, when
it folds past that 180 degrees, the keyboard no longer functions.
Yeah.
So neither does the trackpad, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It's automatic.
What was really impressive for me was, as I said, when I saw it in January 2012 for the very first time, how you figured out this hinge mechanism. This is something that is so how many times are you testing it? 2,500 times?
25,000.
25,000 times.
So you could
I just
open
love
and
this
close
is a piece
it.
of engineering art, in my opinion, right?
It's actually a really rugged. I mean, it's a beautiful device,
Yes.
but the build quality.
Yeah.
You know, I know I work at Lenovo, but I mean, it's a really. We've had rave reviews about it.
Right.
And the ThinkPad heritage with the hinges was something that we leveraged when we built the Yoga.
Julius is asking, do we have the opportunity to customize the ThinkPad Yoga with an additional battery instead of the hard drive?
Actually, we don't have that option
Yeah.
at the moment. But one of the cool things about the ThinkPad Yoga, it has hot swappable battery.
Right.
So you can take the battery out of the ThinkPad Yoga, and the machine is still running.
Right.
It gives you about a minute.
Yeah,
and
so
you
it has
can
a
put in
small
another
battery in there that
Yes.
kind of makes it survive.
Yeah.
And
So
that's quite interesting.
Actually, I think it's 2-3 minutes, but you have some time to swap over. I mean, it's hot swappable battery. You know, in business, you don't want to turn your machine off.
Yeah. Another question is, why is there no digitizer option on these yoga models?
There is on the
There we go.
ThinkPad Yoga has a digitizer, a stylus for handwriting recognition, and it also has it. I mean, it's built in kind of like here on the side. On the consumer device, the Yoga 2 Pro and the Yoga 11S, we haven't built it in because we haven't found customers are really demanding that yet.
Okay, interesting. But for the business models, for the ThinkPad, it will be definitely available. Quite
and it's
interesting.
built in. It's not optional.
Yeah. Well, once again,
Standard.
we've had a great talk with your influencers, with some of your Lenovo bloggers earlier. It was quite interesting to see, and we've been also talking about what happened like 8 years ago, because this year 8 years ago, Lenovo bought the PC division from IBM.
Yeah.
And we started this whole discussion talking about the ThinkPad brand.
Yeah.
And I remember how the industry was in big R at that time, and everybody was kind of complaining about it. Oh my God, now this is going to China, and we've had this proper, solid brand and build quality and design and an enterprise platform. And what happened? It got even better, right? I think, and now you're number one on the market.
I mean, but this is very easy. I mean, we the same people doing it.
Right.
We have added some more technologists, some more technical competence to the team. I mean, it's we call it the innovation triangle. It's in between Raleigh, the old ThinkPad, home of ThinkPad, and the technologists at Yamato, with Naito's son still in charge and still working for us, over 70 years old, I don't know.
Yeah, the inventor of ThinkPad,
The inventor
right?
of ThinkPad,
There you go.
and then it's Beijing. So it's Yamato, Beijing, and North Carolina, Raleigh, and these are this innovation triangle. And we are still going on. We're not stopping in making innovations. And this is what the company, I think, when I joined nearly 6 years ago, is coming from. It's from innovation. It's a innovation company, and it's all nitty-gritty details and the Think heritage. The people were not talking about it. They made those innovations, but they're not making a huge story out. Oh, we invented this hinge and blah blah. So, but it's in the genes.
Well, I remember my co-founder Nicole. I think she was using the X200 or X220. I'm not sure about this. It was the one with the additional battery that you could put underneath it, and it kind of offered you like 20 hours of battery life. So that was absolutely amazing.
It's good on a long haul flight.
Oh, totally. Plus on top
if
of it,
you want to work non-stop.
Yeah. And you have the. Well, I always liked the ThinkPad idea because of your amazing keyboards, right? I have to admit that I've never used this little button in the middle of the track point. It made me freak out. Seriously, I just couldn't use it at all.
One thing the guys watching might want to know is on the ThinkPad Yoga, you know the bezel that surrounds the keys.
Yeah.
Right? So when you move it from...
Should I hold your camera?
Okay. When you move... I haven't got a ThinkPad Yoga here. I should have brought one maybe. But the bezel here around the keys on the ThinkPad Yoga, when you move from laptop mode and you're turning it at this point, say into stand or into tablet mode, the bezel around the keys lifts and locks. And the keys cannot be depressed. And so here, it's completely flush.
Wow.
And it's military spec tested.
Wow.
So for dust and grime and dirt. And the reason is businesses have said, look, we love this yoga design, but I don't want to have these keys and the track point, even though they're not working, when I've got it like this in tablet mode.
That is absolutely amazing.
So the butterfly keyboard was a big deal for ThinkPad many years ago, and now we're still doing innovation around the keyboard to make it even better.
Let's talk a little bit. Okay, I think when I'm looking at the chat and what kind of feedback we got since your launch, there are these two products people are really interested in. I think it's the Yoga 2 and also the ThinkPad, the new one. And so tell us a little bit about the pricing of it and about the availability. I'm pretty sure it was in your press release. I'm pretty sure about that.
So the Yoga 2 Pro is €12.99, including VAT.
Okay.
That's available in October.
Okay.
The ThinkPad Yoga is starting at $7.99, excluding VAT.
Okay.
And that's available in November. Flex, the one that I said is more mainstream, the two modes, 2-in-1. That starts at $4.99. So that's mainstream price points. That's $4.99 including VAT. That's available in October as well.
So let's say we were starting $4.99 and then including it would be $8.99, $9.49 including VAT here in Germany for the ThinkPad Yoga.
ThinkPad Yoga, about that.
$7.99 without, right?
Yeah.
And then $12.99 for the Yoga 2 Pro. Right. So I think very, very reasonable price points, especially if I compare this to your competitors that are also offering devices with such a display resolution. So your guys are right there. Very, very impressive, definitely. And people seem to love it. That's at least what I'm getting.
You want to talk about phones?
Let's talk a little bit about phones. We should do that.
Segue?
How about changing the topic here? Another launch or early launch that I saw during CES in January was the K900. Both of you guys have one. So that was the one that came with a dual-core Intel Atom at that time. 5.5-inch 1080p display.
Correct.
Latest Android at that time. It's a Jelly Bean running right now. And in terms of the benchmarks people were running on it's just kind of...
It's really fighting it out with 8-core processors, actually.
Exactly. That's
and 2.2, I posted my performance, and I had people saying it's fake.
Yeah.
Because they're going, how can a dual-core really compete with... and beat quad-core and then, compete with 8 cores? I mean, it's a nice device. It's different because it looks different. I mean, physically, metal, right? Very thin, only 5.9 millimeters. So, really nice, slick device. The thing about this one was the camera. A lot of people love the camera.
The camera is amazing because the people are always talking about million pixels and 12 and 10 and 8. Yeah. But what they never realize is the kind of lens, the lightness. It's 1.8, which is really, I would say, 80% more light sensitivity than any normal digital camera has. They have 2.8, 3.5.
And very wide angle.
And the wide angle, 1.8. So you can go at night, you don't need a flash, and it's amazing. So this is what the people that they don't speak about. They only speak about million pixels, megapixels.
And it's not available here in Germany. We have to say that.
It's still only available in China, right?
No. We launched outside of China into another 15 countries.
Okay.
So, from Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Middle East, Africa, we're expanded, Saudi, UAE, Russia, Ukraine.
Okay.
I've forgotten a few countries there. But
that's fine.
Yeah, 15 new countries since November last year.
Right. You've had another huge announcement yesterday, and this was the Vibe X. The thinnest and lightest 5-inch smartphone that is available. It was a 5-inch 1080p IPS display, and it only weighed 121 grams.
121 grams.
That was amazing.
121 grams, yeah.
And it's the first phone that we've seen that has a laser-etched sort of polycarbonate back. So this backing area isn't cool to touch because it's not metal.
Right.
But it feels like metal. It looks like metal.
It's like a laser-etched
polycarbonate. And so that 121 grams, 6.9 mil thick.
Yeah.
But apart from being ultra thin and light, we also focus on two other areas with the Vibe X. And the first of these really is the display.
Yeah.
So as you said, 1080p, full HD, 440 pixels per inch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, and a 350 nits, so it's bright. But the third area we focused on was the cameras again. So the front-facing one is like this, very wide angle, 84-degree wide angle, 5 megapixel in the front, 13 in the rear. So it takes great photos, and so this is a man phone, the K900. But the Vibe X, it's a
tool, right? It's a weapon. I could kill you with this. It's got screws here,
But I think in general, this is even a design statement, right?
It is very much.
Yeah, it's a design statement.
It looks a little bit edgy, but it actually fits really good in your hands.
It does.
It fits very good in your suit pocket.
top
Actually. It's
It
nice.
looks great. It has a great display.
Yeah.
This kind of brushed aluminum on the back, and it has this kind of dual LED flashlight, which is also really bright. And once again, I mean, the performance of an x86 processor or dual-core processor is absolutely amazing, and it's interesting to see what Intel could do with their Intel Atom platform, and especially compared to what we know from ARM. Plus, on top of it, I remember having all these discussions about performance per watt and all of this, where people were kind of neglecting the fact a little bit that Intel is already there with their Atoms compared to a quad-core or even to an 8-core ARM.
Yeah. I mean, we found with this that was the best value technology to put into our premium phone with the K900.
How much is it? How much is it, by the way?
The K900 is about $449 US.
Okay.
It's also, we announced just yesterday, it's coming in black as well and orange.
Okay. So
and
$449 US. That is
now.
like, well, it would be also €449 because it's always without VAT in the US, right? So, but still, that is a very
value.
competitive one. It is good value, definitely. Last but not least, we had another announcement, which was also, once again, very impressive. And I kind of like this kind of design language that you picked up from the Vibe X and you kind of transported it or transferred it over to a tablet form factor with the S5000.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most striking thing. The Vibe X and the S5000 look very similar, but the S5000 is also going to be one of the lightest tablets that hit the market this holiday. So it's €199 including VAT, but the amazing thing is it only weighs 246 grams in a 7-inch tablet. And it's very thin. It's 7.9 mil. So probably one of the thinnest, lightest 7 inches.
It's definitely the lightest. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And we've been doing a video, and we've been doing also an interview with Michael from your tablet division yesterday, and we were comparing it to the iPad Mini and to the new Nexus 7. So that was quite impressive to see that.
Oh, good. I got to watch that, man.
Yeah, it was just interesting. And once again, it just tells me how a little bit about how Lenovo also kind of evolved in terms of design and transferred this knowledge that you built up over the last 8 years. Well, even before that, right? Lenovo already existed before you took over the PC division. Right?
I mean, here in Germany, Red Dot is important, right? The Red Dot Awards.
Right.
So you may not know this, but I mean, and people at home may not, but I mean, Lenovo won the Red Dot Design Team of the Year award.
Yeah. There you go.
Like 2-3 months ago.
There you go.
So we were very, very happy about that.
Which is not an award where you can hand in your most favorite products and some will get a prize.
Yeah.
This is a prize.
They're actually picking you.
They're picking a team of 37 designers around the world from Japan, Russia, India, Germany. They are picking the design team and they are choosing. This was Samsung years ago. Last year was Porsche. This year was Lenovo, and it was Yao, our chief designer, and with his 42 teammates. I mean, 20 of them were coming over to Essen, and they got this prize. And it's around the world, admired around the world. And I know a great famous designer of another computer company who loves this prize. and admires this. He's still in running and a part of a big company where they're doing fruits and stuff.
Right.
And he admires this price. So,
as a, maybe 8 years ago, people wouldn't have thought that would happen. They thought we wouldn't invest in ThinkPad, bring out such innovation. But I think that points out to you, and hopefully people who are watching, that it's about continuous improvement. And watch this space in the next year in phones and tablets and PCs. We're challenging some of the majors in some of these emerging devices.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. It was a quick 30 minutes right now. And I could talk forever with you guys about your new products. Because once again, you've been really proving that a premium product doesn't really need to cost a premium. But if you're willing to pay a premium, you still have something in your portfolio for those guys, for the enterprise market, for the business guys, but even for the entry-level market. And on top of it, to see how Lenovo is now entering the mobile phone and the tablet market. Well, not only, and you've been also doing this a while in China, right?
Yeah.
It's just, not so well known over here on the Western markets, but it's going to happen, and it's good to have you on there. Competition is always good for us, the users. So.
It is good, as long as the consumer wins, right?
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Wir gehen jetzt kurz in die Werbung und haben als nächstes die Jasmin. Die Jasmin ist eine...
5 o'clock. Is she coming 5 o'clock?
Oh ja, dann haben die uns wahrscheinlich hier... I'm sorry about that. They kind of mixed up the program for me here. So she's coming at 5 o'clock.
She will be here with us 5 o'clock.
Okay, so that gives us a little bit more time, guys.
Oh, okay.
But let's just go on, and let me take a quick look in the chat and on Twitter if we have any more questions here. Let's see.
We're out of material, man. We're done.
Okay, here we go. Okay, Yoga 2 Pro. What about phones with Windows phones? Is Lenovo looking into this market? You don't need to answer this if you can.
We're looking at it.
Yeah.
We've got Windows working on phones in labs. Absolutely.
I'm sure about that.
At the moment, we haven't announced anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be here in a year, and that's probably changed. But
it could be quite interesting because it seems like they're picking up some momentum globally with Windows Phone, especially in a couple of emerging markets. It was like 2 weeks ago. I read a nice analysis of that, especially Latin and South America.
They're doing well.
Like
there.
Colombia is like 25% of market share. That's not too bad, right? And these are the upcoming markets. Especially as a Chinese company with the most dynamic mobile market in the world, right? It might be quite interesting.
Although all of our phones currently run Android, I think at the end of the day, if the consumer wants to have choice,
right?
We're going to offer it to them. In China, we have like 52 handsets, right? Outside of China, in these 15, 16 countries that we've launched in, we have a range of about 6.
Okay.
6 or 7. So it's a matter of, challenging the majors, getting a footprint, getting in, building up your retail distribution, and then really expanding your range further. So, people are like, are you going to have Windows phones? Yes. But when? I can't really tell you.
Another question is here. Will there be a ThinkPad Helix with Haswell?
We haven't announced one at this stage. You might see one later in the year.
Yeah. Maybe for CS?
Could be.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's not that far away, really, is it?
It's another 3 months. There we go.
Yeah.
Or 4. Oh, it's 4. Thank God.
I know some people have been, asking for that. That with Yoga, they were wanting the Yoga 11S with Haswell, the 13-inch with Haswell.
Yeah.
And we've found the battery life is really...
It really improved with Haswell, right?
Big improvements.
Yeah.
So, this device is, on with full HD playback. I think we're getting, in the labs, nearly 8 hours, and then 10 hours plus in normal use.
That's interesting. Plus, it's not only a gain of battery life, but we also have a huge gain of performance, right?
Yeah.
Which is also absolutely significant in terms of what you're getting out of. But for me, I have to do video editing on the go, right? And since Intel was introducing HD3000 with Sandy Bridge back like 2 years ago, right? And they've had this kind of quick sync mechanism in there, quick sync function in there. This is just so amazing, right? We're rendering like a 13 Mbit 1080p stream like about 3 times the original time or the real time speed,
wow.
right? So
That
it's
is-
absolutely phenomenal, and we completely switched over.
Should I be asking you what you're running that on? What machine? It's not a Lenovo.
Okay, well, this is an Ivy Bridge 11S, Core i7, 8 gigabytes of RAM, which really helps a lot, and a 256 gigabyte SSD, and it's about twice the original speed, which is great. Right? I mean, we're talking about
11-inch little box,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah.
really portable.
You know what the only problem is for me with this one? It's the screen resolution.
Yeah.
It's 1366 by 768, you know, and well, I like it for a use scenario like this here in the studio. It's just perfect for a mobile working horse. Just for me in my user scenario.
Yeah, you need the QHD plus
probably
display,
You
man.
need this new display. Yeah.
You need the 3200 by 1800.
But I have
And
a
that's blowing people away.
I have a question for you. Actually, do you need a 3G module?
Yeah.
Or do you need?
I would love to have that. And you know what? Once
we're
again, when we
debating
did
this.
the blogger roundtable, I put you guys a little bit under pressure with my very last question, because I asked all those guys. So, what you guys want to? What kind of functionality, what kind of feature do you want to see in the next generation of the Yoga? So, Yasmin, that
Fashion blogger.
she made amazing statements. I'm not sure when she is finishing school, guys. You better get a hold of her. I tell you that, and make a kind of brand ambassador.
Might get her into the design center.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay.
Well, if you need someone who can have a discussion with another company that's trying to convince you to use a tablet, and what she's telling you about her yoga, right? It was absolutely amazing. She
Really?
so killed
Yeah.
it, right? That was great. So she came out immediately. No, I need to have 3G in there,
Yeah.
or 4G, right? Because I just don't want to tether it with my phone. It should be all in there, because it was her main device,
Yeah.
right? She was doing everything on her yoga.
Yeah, that's what you see. That's what you see more and more often. And since the rates, the data rates, and the flat rates are going down tremendously, so you get this
Yeah.
for 7, 8, 9 euros a month. You have this 500 megabyte 2 gig flat. The young people can afford it, and this is.
Oh, absolutely.
This is-
I think another one was someone wanted to get Elite Motion in there, and I think you basically were just showing the functionality
I don't know if you can hear it,
already.
it's-
So good job. What else did we have? Someone would have loved to see a kind of 2-in-1 solution in terms of having also a dual boot with Android.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is going to support your touchscreen philosophy with it.
Yeah.
You have so many touchscreen apps on there, and I would really love to see that. What else did we have? Oh yeah, a connection.
Beamer connection.
Oh yeah, to a projector. So
Oh, like
you
bundled?
Yeah, even to just have maybe an additional accessory, right? That it can easily connect wirelessly to a projector.
Oh, wirelessly, yeah.
something like that. So well, we have the video recorded, and those guys. Plus, the interesting thing about this is they came from 6 different countries and from 3 different continents. It's quite interesting to see that in terms of their perspective on the next generation of the yoga line, they all agreed with each other, right?
That's
And
Well, I can tell you right now, we're working on most of those things.
Oh, I bet you do. And there you go. Right? This would be absolutely
We don't
fantastic.
talk on unannounced things. Actually,
Well, they're working on it already.
Yeah, we're
right?
working
So
on
we know what's going on
we're
at
working on the
least.
future of PC Plus. So this is.
But once again, this was quite. I would love to have 3G in there. What I also would love to see, and again, I love the 11.6-inch form factor, right? It's just ultra portable. If I could just get an additional a kind of battery underneath, a battery pack that
You could buy the RT version because that's got about 13 hours.
I
14
know,
hours of
but
battery.
it's the RT version.
It's the RT version.
Exactly. Enough
It's a
said.
trade-off.
No, don't get it wrong. It was also a great device, and it's also very competitive in terms of the pricing, right? And but I just can't use it. I need to have my applications on here, especially for video editing. I would love to have 3G in there, higher resolution display, additional battery pack, and well, that's about it. Besides that, I think this is an absolutely fantastic machine. I love the keyboard, by the way, guys. I've been using a Vaio Z12 for the last 2 years, and when you're riding for like 10, 12 hours a day, you're doing this for 2 years, right? And you're switching to another device. It feels like that you've never ever typed on a keyboard before. Yeah. With this one, it took me like 20 minutes to get used to it, and that is definitely quite impressive. So it's a matter of your chiclet keyboard with this very traditional shape of the keys, which I really like.
People have remarked on our keyboards for a long time. I think one of the things that we took from ThinkPad, some of the heritage there was, the keyboard knowledge and skill.
Yeah.
With the Yoga 2 Pro, this one here, I mean, it's now got backlit keyboard as standard. The ThinkPad Yoga, it's optional backlit keyboard. So, I mean, but it's a great typing experience. And I think ThinkPad keyboards are really recognized, and a lot of that heritage you're seeing in the rest of the Lenovo range now.
Fantastic. There's another question. Or not a question, it's more of a statement. Someone's saying, it would be great to have a non-glossy display. And I agree.
Right. So matte display.
Yeah. Well, I need to get a foil on top of this one.
This is a very often question we hear from more or less from our commercial side, from our commercial customers. And of course, in the traditional ThinkPad, there are,
you can also use a matte display with the traditional ones.
There were huge researches done years and years ago, and then the people were going to say, glossy, that's when we have, our pictures are shinier, and the people that, 70, I don't know real figures, but 70-80% are using their laptops at home. They never go out with it.
Right.
So they don't need glossy is mostly because of the light, and you're working here in different changing light conditions at home. You don't have it. But we probably go and we accept it, and as we know, we have to listen to our customers and to their niche, and if it's only minority, maybe 10-15% are looking for matte, then we probably will have a matte non-glare display.
Yeah. Well, I love non-glare displays, I tell you that. Well, I also love glare displays at home, right, in a dark room, because you have this amazing color saturation, right? Everything looks crisp and clear, and in general, it's a very Asian mentality to have a glossy display, because OEMs love to have the shiny devices on the store shelf. I'm not kidding, right? It's not only because of
as long as no one touches it all day in a retail store, right?
Exactly.
So then you come across a really dirty display. You don't actually want to touch it in a store. Scary.
Whoever had a glossy display like 10 years ago? No one.
No one.
And actually, to have a matte display, it's just an additional step in during the production of your panel to make it glossy. To make it matte. Right. It's quite interesting. So let me see if we have any more else.
I think Yasmin is here.
She's already here.
Yeah,
okay. Okay. Is there a keyboard backlight on which one? Good question.
Backlit keyboard on the Yoga 2 Pro.
Okay, cool.
And optional
on the ThinkPad.
On the ThinkPad Yoga. On the Flex, the 14-15-inch Flex. That's that 2-in-1. That has backlit as well. So, we're introducing backlit keyboards. That was probably the most requested feature to add to the Yoga.
Someone is just saying, it would be such an innovation if you could get a matte touch display that would be also easy to clean.
Yeah, self-cleaning. Maybe one with like a windscreen wiper.
But you know what? It's kind of interesting because there's some additional foils that have something kind of anti-fingerprint finish and also kind of easy swipe. So might this? Well, I think maybe you guys should also do a perfect the perfect accessory for these devices, because not everyone. I mean, this is.
I mean, nanotechnologies are running fast, but it's very expensive right now. So we're coming to this, but I don't know but it's nanotechnologies. They're kind of cleaning, not sticky, but they're expensive. I mean, you know better probably.
Yeah, I mean, we're always working to make the displays better. I think you'll see on the Yoga 2 Pro, it is really heavily fingerprint resistant. But I mean, depends how grubby or messy your hands are, really.
Well, you've been looking at my screen right now, right? I got this.
Angle,
I got this.
I can see it's, you got some serious sweaty paws there.
You need this, and then look, you can look this like.
Yeah.
This is nice.
It's kind of fiber.
Mobile foam, but you get this,
fantastic! Thank you so. Thank you so much.
For so branding, you can also stick it here.
You should show it to the camera.
Everybody knows what it is. So.
Okay, guys. Last but not least, what else is left for us? Well,
you're really struggling, aren't you?
I know. A little bit. Because I would just love to ask you some cool questions, and
good questions. Good. We leave before that. No. We have Yasmin. Yasmin is nice, and she's nasty.
She's better looking than us.
She can be really nasty, actually, but she doesn't. She's very shy because she's 14, and no, actually she's not. She's 18.
Anyway, one thing I wanted to say is I think that building on ThinkPad and then Lenovo with PCs, we're finding here in Germany a lot more people are considering Lenovo maybe for the first time. And as a brand, they're going, hey, Lenovo, it's a brand for the first time. I'm seeing phones, I'm seeing tablets, I'm seeing some bleeding edge, cool technology. I'm also seeing affordable stuff. It's in wider distribution in more stores. I mean, our brand still has a long way to go, and we're investing in marketing. I think a lot of it comes down to your product. At the end of the day, things like yoga are getting people. It's turning their heads, really, in some cases, for the first time. So that's always exciting. I come from Australia, and we don't sell consumer Lenovo devices there yet. Yeah. And so people don't really know Lenovo there. But
it makes it always much easier to do marketing for a product that's actually not crap, but a fantastic platform, right? Because there's so many products out there that are crappy, and they still have to sell it.
Yeah.
Makes my job easier.
So I think
makes our job easier, right?
but actually, no. I mean, there is a market for everything. I mean, there is a market, and if I would buy, I need a computer fast. I'm traveling the world. I need a computer for 6 weeks. This could go down the drain. Could be rubbish after 4 weeks. Could drop it. Everything is in the cloud anyhow. That could be $199 crap product, and it should work for 6 weeks. And this could be a perfect product for me for 6 weeks.
Yeah. So. Exactly.
But if I be a designer, computer-aided design thing, designing whatever, mufflers for motorbikes, race bikes, then I need a kind of thing station, whatever, full-blown, 3,000 euros. You have to pay it, and that's what I mean. I think there is a market, and it becomes more fragmented wherever you go. And
for you guys out there, there's still. I'm just gonna do it in Germany. We're doing it in Germany anyways. I'm gonna do it in German now. Wenn ihr noch an diesem Wochenende, natürlich auch in der nächsten Woche zu IFA kommen wollt, und das wollt ihr natürlich alle, weil es ist schönes Wetter, das Messegelände ist schön, es gibt tolle neue Produkte zu sehen. Da ist die Kamera. Lenovo ist in der Halle 18. Da findet ihr die. Und da könnt ihr euch all diese Produkte dann auch persönlich angucken, mit denen rumspielen, und das solltet ihr unbedingt tun, insbesondere bei den Tablets, und natürlich guckt sie euch einfach alle an. Ne? Tolle Geräte, ihr könnt damit rumspielen. Es sind genug Leute vor Ort von Lenovo, die euch da Rede und Antwort stehen können, und ansonsten geht das im Oktober so langsam los und die Geräte werden verfügbar sein. Well, guys, thank you so much, Nick. That was great
to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Really appreciate it. Danke, Thilo. Vielen, vielen Dank. Wir machen jetzt einen kleinen Break für etwa 2 Minuten. Und dann geht es ein bisschen in die Fashion-Blogger-Abteilung. Und zwar haben wir die Jasmin dann hier aus Berlin, die wir heute im frühen Nachmittag schon hatten bei dem Lenovo Blogger Roundtable. Und dann unterhalten wir uns mal ein bisschen über Mode und Tech. Bis gleich.